first track meet. Ghosts have been waiting for this. Let's see how it goes. Page 168, starting with I usually. I usually get dressed in the living room, but I just wanted it to be a surprise for Ma when I came out. And I could have gotten dressed in the bathroom, but it's too small, and I couldn't risk doing anything stupid like dropping my jersey in the toilet or something. I know it sounds impossible. Trust me, it's not. I mean, not like I ever dropped anything in the toilet or anything, but it could happen. So I did what I never do. I got dressed in my bedroom. I stood in the middle of the room with the door wide open and pulled my shorts on, then my jersey. I looked around at the posters of LeBron on the wall from when he played for Cleveland the first time. My bed, the same cover, same pillow, same everything as that night. I sat on it, my body sinking into the mattress, almost like it was wrapping itself around me, hugging me, like it missed me. And if the door wasn't open and I couldn't see straight down the hall to the living room, I might have freaked out, but I didn't lose it. I just took a deep breath and let the flashes of that night come over me. My mother, flash. The covers being yanked off me, flash. The hallway, flash. The gun, flash. Then I looked down at the floor, flash. My silver bullets waiting for me. I unlaced them, slipped my feet in, then relaced them tight, and just like that, I felt different. I was a defender. My mother had even given me a fresh haircut the night before just for this day, and I hit the bathroom to brush it and see if maybe a few waves were popping out, or at least make sure it wasn't one of her jacked up cuts. Thankfully, she got it close to perfect, almost no patches. While primping in the mirror, I heard Aunt Sophie come in. She was hollering about how they were late because she had to make a sign to hold up when I was running. Castle, my mother called from the living room. They here, let's go. I came out of the bathroom and my mother almost hit the floor. She put her hand over her mouth, which I only ever saw her do when somebody on one of those movies said something corny about not wanting to live without the other person and then they kiss. Look at you, Ma said, hugging my neck, her eyes instantly wet. You look like a champion. You look like a superhero, King said. I'ma call you Running Man. Yeah, like the dance, Aunt Sophie asked. What dance? I replied, totally confused. Doesn't matter, my mother cut in. Now back to business. She grabbed her purse. We gotta go. We went dashing down the block toward the bus stop, only to see the bus pulling off just before we got there. No! Ma shouted, turning toward me. I could tell she wanted to cuss, but she didn't. She just bit her lip, then looked at me and said, I'm so sorry, baby. But it was okay. I had walked it so many times, and I knew that it was only like a 15-minute trek. With all the stops the bus was going to have to make along the way, we could probably get there quicker if we walked anyway. So I told them to follow me as I took the short way for once. Imagine it. My mother in yellow pants with flowers all over them, not scrubs, and lipstick and red cheek stuff on her face, and my aunt with jeans and sneakers with a bright pink t-shirt and a baseball cap, and my cousin, King, dressed in shorts and a tank top and the same shoes as my beat-up ones, holding a big neon sign. Imagine the three of them following behind me, Castle Crenshaw, dressed in an electric blue track uniform, the Defender. We walked past the fish market, the wig shop, and everything sports before I realized that I had to make one quick stop, Mr. Charles's store. Luckily, it sits right in the middle of everything. At least it seems like it does. Like I can always get to it no matter where I am in the city. I think maybe that was Mr. Charles's plan. He's smart like that. and I can see it even if his family don't. He's the smartest person with a store in the whole city and maybe even the world. That's what I think. When I got there, I told Ma and Aunt Sophie and King to give me a second. Just need to get something, I explained. I pushed the door open, and there Mr. Charles was standing behind the counter as usual, staring at his television. Castle! How are you, my friend? Mr. Charles said, holding his hand out. What's with the get-up? This is my track uniform, the Defenders, I explained, pointing to the gold word printed across my chest. Who? Mr. Charles leaned in so he could hear me. The Defenders, I said louder. The track team I told you about. Today's my first race, and I just wanted you to see me. There was no way I could hide the excitement in my voice. Ah! Mr. Charles flashed a huge smile. He grabbed a bag of sunflower seeds off the wall. Then take these for good luck. Pretend they're power pills, he said, which I thought was funny because for me, they kind of were, at least in my head. Thanks, Mr. Charles. I'll let you know how it goes, I said, reaching out for his hand. Yes, yes, please do, son, he practically shouted, squeezing my hand. Now get out of here. You can't be great if you're late. After 4 or 5 more minutes, my mother, my aunt, and my cousin and me came upon the park. I was used to seeing it sprinkled with only a few parents, mainly Lou's mom and a few others, and us, the runners on the track. But on race day, there were people everywhere. From the street, you could hear the buzz of the crowd and the sounds of whistles, and you could see snack vendors and all the different colored jerseys as coaches had their teams stretching and warming up. Once we got closer, I found my squad, that electric blue standing out. Ghost! A voice came from behind me. It was Sonny. Sonny, what's up, man? We dabbed. This is my mom and my aunt and my cousin King. Sonny shook everybody's hand, then told me to come get stretched and warmed up. My family lined up along the fence, and with who I guessed were the parents of the rest of my teammates. I saw Sonny's father, Mr. Lancaster, still dressed up in a suit, but with sunglasses on. Patty's white mother, holding her little sister Maddie up on her shoulders. Lou's ma was there holding pom-poms, of course, and next to her was a man who looked just like Goose, the flashy dope man who hangs out at the basketball court. But it wasn't. At least I didn't think it was. Couldn't have been. When Sonny and I got to where the rest of the team was, everyone was sitting down with their legs out in front of them, holding the tips of their feet and pulling. It hurts like crazy, but Coach said it was good for us. The team looked at me as I sat down. They all noticed the uniform and the silver bullets. I was dressed. I was a defender. I was ready. Okay, Coach said, needing to speak much louder than usual so that we could hear him over the noise. I've got the lineup. Let's start with the distance race. Running the mile, we have Sonny for the guys, Lynn for the girls. For the 800, Mikey, you're taking Chris's place. Outlaw, your second heat. For the girls, Patty, you got this. Deja, you got second heat. When Coach got to the 200 meter, he looked at me and Lou. Then he looked down at his clipboard, then back at us. Lou, you're going to take the 200, Coach said, and the 100. Lou held back a smile and nodded. Coach got me. I thought he was going to let me run, but I guess this was the real last part of my punishment. I tried not to act disappointed. I looked over at my family, King and Aunt Sophie, holding the sign, waiting to lift it in the air and scream like maniacs. And Ma, standing there so proud of me. And Ghost, Coach said, glancing over at Coach Witt and then back at me. I snapped out of my trance. You think you can handle the 100 too? I grinned, and I couldn't get yes out of my mouth. Such a short, easy word, but I couldn't spit it out. So I just nodded and swallowed the yes, hoping it might go down my throat, through my stomach, guts, and down into my legs. We're not going to run any relays or hurdles yet, Coach said. This is the first meet, and we've got some work to do. But I'm watching every one of you, so let's get out there and burn! We all went to the side of the track and waited for our races. Everyone was so hype, jumping around trying to stay loose. Lou's mother came over and gave us a container full of orange slices, which I thought was super nice. But I didn't want any oranges. And I met Coach's wife, Mrs. Margot, and his baby son, Tyrone. The crazy thing was, even though Coach was an Otis and a chip-toothed turtle face, Mrs. Margot was pretty and so nice. She passed out Gatorades to everybody. But when she got to me, she thanked me for cleaning out Coach's cab. That made me feel real special. But I didn't really want no oranges, no Gatorade. I had my power pills, my sunflower seeds. I ran over to my mother, who had them tucked in her purse. She handed me the bag, then grabbed me and hugged me again. I'm so proud of you, she said. Then she caught me slipping and added, Ghost. She must have heard Sonny say it or somebody, but she now knew my nickname, the name I gave myself. And judging from her bright smile, I think she liked it. I had no idea that being on a team would make her so lovey-dovey, but it was cool. It reminded me of how it used to be back when we slept in our rooms, and there was family pictures on the wall. Back with the rest of the defenders, I ate the sunflower seeds one by one, waiting for my race. My chance. The first race was a relay, the boys 4x800. I got to just sit and watch to see how races really went down, since we weren't running relays. Runners from 8 different teams all lined up in their lines, staggered at different starting points. The Bruisers, the Wings, and a bunch of other silly names that were nowhere near as dope as the Defenders. Everybody put one foot forward, just barely touching the line. They leaned in, some wiggling their fingers. Then, and this caught me totally off guard, there's a gunshot, which is the thing that tells you to go. I'll tell you one thing. It made me feel a little weird, but whoever invented track got the whole gun means go thing right. The crowd started screaming as the boys burned the track up. One of the teams, I think they were called the Assassins, dropped the baton. It made a clinking sound, which in a nutshell is what losing sounded like. It's hard to come back from that. After the boys were the girls, Patty came over to me and told me how she felt like she could pretty much smoke all the girls out there. I believed her. Patty was definitely going to be a problem. Next was the boys' 100-meter hurdle, which was the most exciting thing I had ever seen. It was crazy. I asked Coach if we were going to run hurdles, and he told me that we would, but it takes some real work. He said the kids who left the team and went to high school, the kids whose spots we filled, were amazing hurdlers. He said he used to run hurdles while tapping his hand on his chest, his secret tattooed Olympic medal. I told him I wanted to do it. He told me to focus on today. Then came the girls' hurdles, which the crowd seemed to be into even more than the boys. Patty was jumping up and down, screaming, because one of her friends was running. The girl didn't win first, but she did come in second, which wasn't bad. And then came the 100-meter dash. Lou, Ghost, Coach called out. Y'all ready? Me and Lou nodded, and Coach said what he always said this time, with a returned nod. On the line. We stepped out on the track and walked down to the end. Lou's mom instantly started screaming and waving those stupid pom-poms. No clue what she was saying, but whatever it was loud until Aunt Sophie. CASTLE! Aunt Sophie screamed. Smoke 'em, burn 'em, dust 'em, roast 'em, she shrieked. It was like her and Lou's mom were a perfect, out of control cheerleading pair. I looked over and King was holding the sign above his head. It said, Castle Cranshaw, ain't no joke. You are. Nice. All the runners from all the different teams were slapping hands when I saw him. No way. No freaking way. He ran? He ran? By now, you know who I'm talking about. Brandon Simmons. He was standing in lane 8, running for a team that called themselves the Bolts. He saw me the same time I saw him, and he looked just as shocked as I was. Cliffhanger! He's running a race with his arch enemy, Brandon Simmons. But we're out of time, so we'll have to wait until tomorrow to find out what happens.